This is a map of the world. You probably recognise it. If you spent any time in school, you're probably quite familiar with it. But if you haven't been in school for a while, you might not be as familiar with it as you used to be. You might not be as familiar with it as you think you are. For example, there's a continuing conversation online where more and more people are expressing surprise when they find that Australia is scrunched up there underneath the islands of Indonesia. They're saying, hang on a second, that's not right. Surely Australia is much further south, down in the Southern Ocean, surrounded by open water, totally isolated from the rest of the world. I'm not one of those people. I'm happy that Australia has always been where Australia is. I don't have a problem with that. I do have an issue, though, with South America. There are many people who think that South America should be further west than it is. They think that South America should be directly south of North America, and I'm of that school of thought. Chile, for example, is further east than Florida is. But in my mind, Chile should be directly south of Texas. That's more than 20 degrees of longitude further to the west. That's 2,200 kilometres at the equator, or 1,400 miles if you prefer, which is quite a long way. So how did I get it so completely wrong? The obvious answer is I'm not very good at geography. Or I've misremembered something I was taught years ago. But it doesn't explain why lots and lots of other people have the same misunderstanding that I do. It's actually taking us into a phenomenon that's called the Mandela Effect. The Mandela Effect isn't just about geography, it's about lots and lots of different aspects of our lives. It's a situation where a significant number of people are having identical misunderstandings about the real world. While we're in the Americas, let's have a look at Panama. If you're travelling by boat and you want to take a shortcut from the east coast of America to the west coast of America, you go through the Panama Canal. Here's a map of Panama. That's nothing like I remember it. That's just crazy. In my mind, it looks like this. And even then the canal's going in the wrong direction. It just doesn't make sense to me. And what about the Mediterranean Sea? What a mess that is compared with how I remember it. Italy should be much smaller and more perpendicular. There should be much more water in between the toe of Italy and Sicily. That north coast of Algeria and Tunisia, that's way too far north. And Corsica and Sardinia, they're huge. I can't even remember them being there. I know they were there somewhere, but they, in my mind, they must have been a lot smaller because I'd never even noticed them before. The simple explanation for all this is that my mind is muddled and I'm misremembering stuff, but it doesn't explain why lots of other people are misremembering the same stuff in the same way. The Mandela Effect tries to answer that, except that nobody can actually explain what causes the Mandela Effect. There are a number of theories. I don't know if any of them are right, but the one that I like the best is that we've come from a parallel universe where things are almost exactly the same as they are here, but not quite. Somehow we've slipped into this world from there without noticing, and now we are noticing things that are discrepancies between how we remember things and how things really are. I like that idea. The Mandela Effect is something that's worth checking out. It's named after Nelson Mandela, but that's another story.